Good evening, Rusk enjoyers. Hope you're alright, 'cause it's time for Profit Review. Last week we discussed the October 3rd, 2024 Rustore, and that means today we're here to discuss October 10, the week where we had charitable Ruskins. So sit back and relax, I'm going to start yapping. Now, before we do, some of you might be new to this, so I'll quickly explain what we're about to talk about. In short, with every Rustore that we see, I will return to it 4 weeks later and just see how everything turned out. Did everything match up to our expectations? And if not, I have to sit here and explain why. Now, of course, with every Rustore that we see, I'm always looking at the skins and I'm always making considerations in regards to what potentially might be a very nice investment. Was I correct? Was I wrong? You can hold me accountable. Right then, let's jump in. Let's talk about my initial reaction when I first saw all of these skins. Now, of course, by default, with it being the Charitable Rust week, we had some very interesting skins. Now, these weren't marketable, these weren't tradable. Once you bought them, they're tied to your account, but they're only available for a limited time. And they look very nice, along with the likes of many interesting looking Twitch drops. So by default, I was looking at these skins and I was under the impression that, yeah, this probably isn't going to be a very, insane week for sales. It was most likely going to be, fairly low across the board. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Now, looking at the actual skins, we had some interesting collection continuations. Frozen Crypt with another deplorable skin being accepted. Here's the furnace. The image isn't shown for some strange reason, but I can confirm that with all these Frozen Crypt skins, they glow in the dark at night ever so bright. Go give them all a good look. They do stand out ever so nicely, but the Steam Workshop seems to be a little bit slow for some reason, so I'm just going to hop out of here. Right, so it was nice to see that. Greening area gets another skin accepted. So, of course, we had the Sheep Door first, but that wasn't holding up very well, was it? It wasn't holding its value that nicely, but it was nice to see another skin being accepted fairly quickly. So, okay, yeah, just as bright. What's being grown in there? Still don't know. Then, of course, we had this very cool looking air conditioner box. Again, with the recent Tier 3 Tool Bench small box, to see skins referencing real life objects and whatnot you might have inside your home and whatnot. Okay, yeah, that seems like a perfectly fine looking skin. Maybe it might get a lot of appreciation. Okay, cool. And then we saw another tank armor skin being accepted, but not the Tier 2 armor. Tier 2 armor was submitted before this, but with the gloves being accepted now, does that mean Face Punch likely wasn't going to be accepting core pieces in the future for tank armor collection? That was a bit of a concern. Okay, and then, oh look, a Wasted Shipment Door, a collection continuation from the Garage Door. It was odd because the Garage Door was submitted before, no, the Shipment Door was submitted before the Garage Door, but the Shipment Door came out after the Garage Door. Anyway, it's nice to see, but was it going to potentially drop down exactly like the Garage Door did? Because it did go down pretty quickly. And then we had a cheese poncho. Yes, we could walk around dressed up as a slice of cheese, pretty much. It was definitely a very random thing to appear. Anyway, let's now talk about what was potentially looking to be a perfectly fine looking investment. Now, as I said just a minute ago, I wasn't expecting that many sales. I was basically expecting it to be a quiet week. Now, as I hop over to here and look at my predictions, I can remember that initially I was looking at the tank armor gloves. What's so special about the tank armor gloves? Well, if you can recall, we had the Tier 3 armor just before, and we kind of looked at it and assumed, could this be considered cheap green camouflage? So there you have it. There's the gloves. Look at the coloration. Do you consider that green? Now, the main thing I was looking at was making a comparison to another pair of road sign gloves. I was comparing it to the only other notable green road sign glove skins that we have in the game, that being Forest Raiders. This was selling at $1.49. Scroll. This was selling at around $40. There was quite a difference. Now, of course, that is so much more green. We can accept that. But this right here was about at least 30 times cheaper. Okay, all right, yeah. You can consider it. And with tank armor having a nice boost with its appearance, were we ever going to see any more core pieces, or let alone just any other armor pieces? I was hopeful, and I just thought maybe it doesn't sell that much this week. All the better for it to rise up in price in the future. So I did have quite a lot of confidence in it, and it just wasn't really selling too much in terms of its price. Sorry, its price wasn't too high, so I thought, yeah, maybe everything will work out. But I, of course, wanted to wait it out because it was abnormal. So I thought, better to wait until Wednesday night, then we'll do the buy orders. But that was looking very promising initially. So I was feeling confident with 2 skins, but what about all the other skins? Well, unfortunately, with the deplorables, didn't have that much faith. Now, as I said, the greening area Sheepman Door came before the Garage Door, and the Sheepman Door is down pretty bad. It's down by 50%. And on the day, when I was looking at the skins, I looked at all the Garage Door skins, And, well, we had so many accepted up to that point. I was expecting even more, and Twitch drops. And I was like, well, if all of these are down in price, even with them, with them being part of collections and they had continuations afterwards, I wasn't feeling confident. I honestly thought, you know what, I could pick that up for a cheaper price. I would very likely just stick with doing a buy order. Same can be said with the small box here. Didn't have that much faith in it in terms of I don't think it was going to be something everybody else was going to go crazy for. It was a perfectly fine looking skin. Kitchen utilities and whatnot. Cool. But was it going to turn into a collection? And here's another thing. Were we actually going to see any continuations for a while? No, because we're about to have Halloween. And Halloween normally has 2 weeks of Halloween skins. So, taking that into consideration, we're not going to get any continuations for a while? Right then, now you kind of understand. If people don't see, like, instant gratification, oh yeah, we're definitely going to get a continuation, right? I'm definitely going to make some quick money, right? No. You have to be aware of other people's behaviour, so that's half the reason why I wasn't feeling confident in this as well. Small boxes in general, not exactly holding up very well, even the ones that are part of a collection. So, taking that into consideration, understood, let's proceed and talk about the Oasis door. So, yeah, another deplorable. The garage door went down in price very quickly. And I looked at the sheet metal door. I looked at all the other sheet metal doors that came out in 2024 at this specific point in time, in like early October, and I just didn't have any faith. By this point, we had the most sheet metal doors in a single year. And I just didn't think things were going to get any better. I fully believed there was going to be a lot more sheet metal doors, and I thought it was only going to get a little bit more concerning, especially with Halloween just around the corner, knowing that so many sheet metal doors were submitted for Halloween 2024. So I was like, nah. The weapons, no, 60 cents to 80 cents, didn't have any faith in them. AK-47 skins, MP5 skins, and then we had the cheese poncho. I didn't know what to think of the cheese poncho. It was strange, it was silly. I thought, okay, this could probably go either way. Maybe it doesn't sell that much, but people will appreciate it as time goes on, it gets liked. Maybe we'll see a full cheese primitive collection of some sort. Okay, that was definitely a lot to consider, but I knew we weren't going to have any continuations for a while. Okay then. Right then, so that was all of the skins in terms of what I thought of them in terms of investments. But what about how they progressed? So as I hop over to here and look at the progression after the first 24 hours of sales, Garage Door was selling quite nicely, then the small box, then the furnace, weapons were okay, the gloves weren't selling that much at all. Then we had the Oasis door, not exactly selling that much. And then we had the cheese poncho of only like 1,600 subscribers. What? That's incredibly low. Okay. So that got a little bit more interesting. But more specifically, those tan Camo gloves only selling that much after the first 24 hours of sales. Very, very, very interesting. A sheer lack of sales for something that most likely in the future would, gain interest. But all the better for that to rise up in price ever so nicely. You get the idea, I'm sure. So that was looking very, very, very appealing. The furnace, I know I looked at it and was somewhat confident, and the sales were kind of tame. I was feeling still perfectly fine with it, but I was kind of getting a bit worried that, well, maybe that could also be an indicator that people just don't care enough for it. Maybe a smart barter would have been the way to go about it. So, okay. So that was the progression. Now let's talk about how things eventually led to, the abnormal barders. So here we are. On the night when we did the abnormal barders, the garage door had just over 13,000 subscribers, the furnace had almost 14,000 subscribers, the small box had just over 12,000 subscribers. You can see that on the screen. I should just stop talking. But the funny thing is, the cheese poncho, which you can't currently see on the screen right now, but I could probably go over to here and you'll see it as I scroll down, that had just under 4,000 subscribers. What? That's incredibly low. We saw that with the first 24 hours of sales. But, what? That is, like, stupidly low. If we were going to see any more cheese skins being produced and accepted, that was going to very likely spike up nicely. But, again, much like what I just said in regards to the furnace, was that also an indicator that people just did not care for it? Alright then. So now I'm going to talk about the prices I suggested for the skins themselves. So on the night we did the abnormal barders, I looked at the greening area garage door, and I went with 80 cents to $1.20. I was still concerned. I did expect even more garage doors to appear, and I wasn't sure if this was going to retain any interest. I wasn't sure if it's going to be able to retain its value. With my concerns was a lack of confidence, so I just thought, maybe I'll just go halfway. I'm sure I could pick up a bunch of these skins for a cheap price. All right, understood. Moving on. Frozen Crypt Furnace, selling at a cheaper price, because if that was selling at $2.49, this right here was only selling at $1.49. I basically went with the same price. But of course, 80 cents to $1.20 is much better for a $1.49 skin compared to a $2.49 skin. I had confidence, but I still thought, you know what? I think I will probably pick these up with a cheaper price. I felt confident in that, and yeah, that's how I approached it. I did not buy any of these straight from the rest store. I just stuck with a buy order. Then I looked at the Camo gloves. Again, these are also selling at $1.49, and I looked at them, and I said 80 cents to $1.20. It was one of the lowest selling road sign glove skins ever. Not like the lowest, I'm talking like 8th lowest, and there's like 40 of them that exist, so I'm sure you get the idea. Didn't sell too much. I thought I could pick up a bunch of these for around $1.20. I'm pretty sure that'd be fine. And I'm pretty sure I did buy like 20 of these straight from the Rust store, if I can recall. I didn't have that much money I could spend with my accounts, unfortunately. But yeah, that was looking to be very appealing. It wasn't in a ridiculous position like the recent Black Diamond road sign gloves. But still, as time goes on, couldn't help but assume these would graciously rise up in price ever so nicely. That was the expectation. Then I looked at the Oasis shipment at the door, 70 cents to $1. Didn't have any faith in it. I looked at the cheese poncho. $1.49 skin. I went with 80 cents to $1.20. That was purely out of curiosity. I thought, okay, you sold next to nothing. A lot of people probably just didn't even notice that this was actually in this Rust store. Maybe in the future this could get continuations. Maybe in the future we would see this progress into a nice primitive cheese collection that a lot of people would want to dress up as. Again, the sheer lack of sales was the main point. I didn't know how to approach it, to be honest, but I went with a fairly close price because I did not expect a ton of these to appear on the Steam market anytime soon. And with the weapons, it was 60 cents to 80 cents. Oh, and the air conditioner box, 70 cents to $1. I didn't have any faith in it. It lost a lot of traction. I kind of thought, you know what? That's most likely due to the fact that not that many people cared enough for it. So yeah, 70 cents to $1. In regards to these, AK-47 skins and MP5 skins, these skins were fine, but I didn't think they stood out that much compared to all the other skins of the past, and I just felt like they were going to drop down to less than $1. So yeah, didn't have that much faith. 60 cents to 80 cents. Alright, so we just talked about the abnormal prices. Now let's talk about the outcomes. It's been 4 weeks. How has everything turned out? Frozen Crypt Furnace, that did go down in price, but only initially. So as you can see right now, there's only 21 listings on the Steam market, and if you were to go look at the Rust Steam market, you should be aware that on average, every single skin usually has about 100 quantity. That's the average amount. Skins with a lot less quantity, well, there's only so much to go around. What have I said earlier? All the better for it to rise up in price. And as you can see, this furnace, there's like next to no big fat quantities, a few more sales, rises up graciously. So that is in a very good spot. But I've got to point out, with its history, you can see it went, and then it went down. And then it kind of sloped down for a while, but now it's starting to trend back upwards. But its lowest point definitely was around here, selling for a good $1.05 about, yeah. So it did drop down. And I picked up a bunch of these with a fairly cheap price, and I'm happy. Yeah, I feel like this is going to have a very fun time as we proceed towards January time. January time being post-Christmas, when a lot of people have time off, the winter break. And yeah, I expect a lot of people to be playing, and I expect prices to improve ever so nicely. Now, here's a funny thing. Throughout October and November right now, the player counts have been phenomenal. Peak player count was about 169,000 for the beginning of October 2024. That was fantastic. And throughout the month, it was an average player count of 90,000. Now, with November so far, we've just had the recent November force wipe, 182,000. Now, you're going to sit there and say, haven't we had higher before? It doesn't matter. You've got to understand, when you compare it to like the previous year, Oh, big difference. Peak player count for October last year was 130,000. Peak player count for November last year was 137,000. There's a lot more people playing, and prices have already started to improve. So to see this furnace now doing better, kind of not surprised. But I'm still concerned for the other deplorables because it doesn't make sense. We've basically got a collection now, free skins, and hopefully we'll see some more as we get closer to the winter time, or rather, December. And this has only 34 listings, and yet it's down in price. No big fat quantities. Bilders are still okay, but yeah, this sold at $2.49. Look at it. Huh. Could it improve? I do hope so. And then the sheep Nador, well, there's been plenty of sheep Nadors that came out this year. So many have suffered. This is just basically a perfect example of that. All right, then, well, we'll see how it turns out. But the furnace, with the price suggestion of 80 cents to $1.20, yes, I'm sure a lot of you did pick these up for a cheaper price. And now, hopefully, it rises ever so graciously as we steer towards January time. Did you pick any up? Feel free to comment below. Now let's go ahead and talk about the next skin. Oop, wrong thing. Okay, greening area garage door. So this did dip down in price. It did go down in price. But with a recent rust store, we saw greening area, sheet metal double doors being accepted, and that just caused this to get bought out, spike in price. Very cool. But give it another week or two, it'll probably go back down in price again. So with garage doors, yes, we did see some more garage doors being accepted. Of course, Halloween happened, and of course, more Twitch drops. Well, okay then. But how low did it go initially? Let's go find out. As you can see, there's 40 listings on the Steam market, a below average amount, and looking at its sales history, it went down very quickly, stabilized at around 90 cents at one point, and then spiked back up again as we saw the collection continuation. So did you pick up any of these for a cheap price? Feel free to comment below. I've picked up a few. Maybe I should sell now. Maybe I want to wait a little bit longer and see how things turn out around January time. We shall see. But the greening area collection is a bit of an odd one. I'm still unsure if people actively like it or not. I am still unsure. Feel free to comment below what your thoughts are in regards to that. But yeah, cool. Right then, so that progressed nicely. It did spike up again. Cool. Did you make any profit? You got to tell me. But now let's move on and talk about the air conditioner box. So my expectation was, I think I only want to do a 70 cent to $1 buy order, and it went down to less than $1, where it's currently sitting at. Unfortunate, but yeah, small boxes this year have not performed very well at all. Okay, right, okay. It's actually slightly above $1. SCMM was a little bit slow to update itself, but this seems to be the spot where it's going to basically exist at for the foreseeable future, I guess. Unless we see some more cool utilities being made. Where is my washing machine sheet metal door, I guess? I don't know what to expect. Washing machine furnace. Oh, wait. It cooks your never mind. Anyway, air conditioner box. I was hoping to see some more interesting kitchen stuff being made, but Halloween happened, and Halloween extended to a third week as well. So I haven't seen anything for quite some time because people haven't been able to submit that much because just around the corner we're going to complete the sets apparently in November. So okay. Unfortunate, but the expectation was there, and it's basically matched up to that. If you bought these for $1, you very likely have not been able to sell this for a profit. Unfortunate. But if you're like me and remove that $1 buy order and only get the 70 cent buy order, well, is there anyone actively buying these? Apparently 24 have sold in the past 24 hours. Well, okay. It looks like it is starting to trend back upwards again, so maybe a little bit more patience and we'll see these sell for a better price. Got to wait till January, I'm guessing. Okay, fair enough. Right then, moving on, we have the Angu AR. I will just talk about the AR and the MP5 at the same time. I looked at both of them. They're perfectly fine for what they were, but unfortunately, they didn't stand out that much. So here's the Angu, perfectly fine looking skin for an AK. But if it doesn't stand out ridiculously, or is it part of a very notable and in-demand collection, these AKs would just go down to less than $1. And right now, as I look on the Steam market, I will point out and sit here and say that, yeah, that's basically what happened. It's basically sitting here at $1. Did it go any lower? Well, I can definitely see that a lot of purchases have been around 80 cents and even as low as like 70 cents. So yeah, no, it doesn't look like it's holding up very well. But if you buy it for a cheap enough price, you can convert it into metal and sell the metal for a profit. That is why we suggest 60 cents to 80 cents. And then looking at the Speed Rage MP5, which was a collection continuation, again, it didn't work out well. MP5s this year have not been performing super great. There have been a couple, but not all of them. Only 28 listings, and yet still below its $2 price. Very unfortunate to see. Highest buy order, 85 cents. Looking at its sales history, it went as low as about 70 to 80 cents. Well then, there you go. Unfortunate, it was expected. Now we can talk about the tank armor gloves. Well then, 9,000 subscribers, minimum sales expectation of about 10,000 maybe. Yeah, it really didn't sell that much, and it's progressed ever so nicely. Now, here's the unfortunate thing. We did see more Tank Armor Tier 2 being produced. A second version was made, but haven't seen it yet. Could it appear and complete the sets? Maybe. Keep that into consideration. But there's only 45 listings of these gloves at the moment. As you can see, comfortably sitting here at $2.30, and the buy orders have been rising up above its restore price. That just worked out well pretty quickly. So if I could just quickly show the sales history, yes, initially a few sold at a high price, but it goes down to about $2, and it goes all the way down to about $1.50, and then it starts to rise back up again. I'm pretty sure that the $1.50 bar here with 327 quantity appeared like a good couple of weeks ago, and that just basically steered it to going back up in price. But it did drop down to about $1.20 at one point. It did happen. Over down to around here. No, sorry, I got that wrong. It was at £1.20. So it's been basically sitting at around $1.50 for its entirety. Sorry about that. Sorry. My currencies, I got them mixed up. But I always refer to skins in regards to dollar pricing because you should know your own currency in relation to dollars. It just makes things easier. Anyway, yeah. So this has just done a very good job retaining value regardless. And a $1.20 price could have led to you buying a few of these. I have bought a few of my buy order. As I said, I also bought some with a purchase. So, okay, tank armor gloves, you're looking good. Are you going to sell now, or are you going to wait a little bit longer? Will we see more tank armor? That is the question. So as I hop on to the workshop, and as I quickly show you its collection, tank armor Tier 2, version 2, was submitted, but will it be accepted? Or will we see an armored door? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, more the merrier. Let's hope and see if that does work out nicely. Oasis Sheep Matador, a perfectly fine looking skin, but another Sheep Matador skin. And Sheep Matadors have not performed very nicely this year, even if they are part of notable, interesting collections. So this is currently sitting on the Steam market at half its price. It is listed at $1.16 right here. Now, I suggested 70 cents, $1. Okay, yeah. You would probably have bought a bunch of these. In fact, I can still see Barders at $1. Well, just one. 94 cents there as well. I'm under the impression it went lower than that after a while. So as I look over to here, yeah, it went down to about 80 cents at one point. That could have been someone selling directly to a buy order, by the way. So, okay, yeah, it did go down pretty bad. Seems to be recovering a little bit. Could we see some more Oasis skins being accepted? Well, we did just get a large box. And I'm pretty sure we will be seeing some more in the foreseeable future. Submitted to the workshop, I should say. So keep an eye on this collection. Perfectly fine for what it is. But the prices haven't been holding up very well, have they? No. But what will it look like around January time? Will we see Oasis armor or weapons? That would be cool. That'd be cool. Let's just wait and see. But nothing is a candidate for complete the sets because there's no new skins at the moment. And nobody can currently submit skins to the workshop. So, yeah, okay, fair enough. Now we can talk about the cheese poncho. So, out of curiosity, I actually went and bought 5 of these. Purely out of curiosity. I thought, you know what, maybe something really funny might happen in this. Maybe it gets manipulated. Maybe we do get those collection continuations. Well, it went down in price. So here's what happened. I'm confused. The skin creator did not make primitive cheese skins. No. He went straight to core pieces. Hoodie and pants, and then he made some cheese armor. I don't know why he did this. He should have gone with burlap clothing. He should have gone with hide clothing, cheesy leather gloves, cheese hide boots, cheese deer skull mask, cheese string horns. Anyway, so I thought this was going to turn into a primitive set, but he went straight for like core pieces, and no, Face Punch didn't want that. I am under the impression now that this is just going to be a very random one-off poncho. And unfortunately, that is looking like it's going to struggle and suffer. So if you bought this for 80 cents or $1.20, no, that didn't work out very well, did it? No, I was wrong on this. But it was very odd. Just a sheer lack of sales. I don't know what's going to happen next either way as well. Because, there's 28 listings. And whilst, at the end of the day, that's not that much. No one's buying. No one's actively buying this. Only 5 sales in the past 24 hours. It's just gone down, and it's just basically been sat down in price, slowly going down more and more every week, it seems. That turned out to be a bust. Again, I do apologise, but I just didn't really have that much to work with. I really didn't. It was purely out of curiosity, and it did not work out nicely. Yes, I did buy a bunch with my buy orders. Did you too? Oh, so sorry. Feel free to comment below if that was if you were one of them. But you never know. Maybe we do get more primitive skins being made. It's up to the skin creator. But I just don't know why he instantly went for hoodie and pants and tier 3. Not a smart move, my friend. Anyway, that seems to be a wrap. Pretty much every single skin here was, perfectly. The expectations were met. Cheese Poncho, though, you were wrong, and I hold myself accountable there. I was wrong. But yeah, it all went down in price initially. It all went back up a fair bit. Some of these skins not exactly looking like they're ever going to reach their Rustore price ever again, but that's life, I'm afraid. Some of these things just never really improve. All right, now let's talk about what's happening with the next week's video, which of course would be Halloween. Now, over the course of the next 3 weeks, it's going to probably be fairly quick because Halloween skins by default, there's not much to talk about because by default, I'm expecting them to drop down in price. Now, there were some interesting skins. Yes, we can definitely point that out. But it's going to be like, oh, I didn't expect much. Oh, I didn't expect much. Oh, I didn't expect much. Yeah, that's going to basically be the case. So, yeah, that's everything. I hope the video is nice and insightful. But as we steer closer and closer to the end of the year, we should start seeing some skins really rising up in price ever so nicely. And as I said earlier, with November just like kicking off very, very nicely, Ruskin prices are going to probably reach some very nice all-time high prices around January, or maybe it happens before then. Look at the skins you have in your inventory. Start checking. I might have to make a video about that. Keep an eye out on my YouTube. All right then. So, yep, thank you once again for watching the video, and catch you later. See you, goodbye.